What's up, everybody? I'm stoked you're back for another paddle review. My name is Jaeger, and today we're reviewing the new paddle from 11.624, which is the Hurache X Control Plus. This is easily the worst paddle name I've ever heard of, especially because they have another paddle called the Hurache Control, which is a completely different paddle. Really hope that they can come up with more streamlined names for their paddles in the future. The company name of 11.624 actually came from the owner guessing the exact number of jelly beans in a jar for a competition, which is pretty funny and actually is pretty sick, but it's not like they're unaware of this. The first thing you see when opening up their website is forgettable name, unforgettable paddles. We may have the worst name in pickleball, but our paddles will have you remembering us for all the right reasons. And the sweet thing about that statement is that it's actually true. This paddle is fantastic. Let's freaking get into why that is. This is a thermoformed 16mm paddle. It has your standard foam injected into the walls of the paddle like most thermoformed paddles. It actually has three surface layers: a base layer of Toray T700 carbon fiber, a layer of fiberglass, and then another layer of carbon fiber. I really enjoyed this and we'll be talking about it more later on in the video. It has an average weight of 8 to 8.3 ounces out of the box. It has a swing weight of 118 and twist weight of 6.29. The paddle has a 6-inch handle, which felt great while hitting my two-handed backhand drives and dinks. You can look up almost any pickleball paddle on the market, and it's going to say it has the perfect blend of power and control. It's the most overused phrase of marketing while advertising a paddle. With a Hurache, it's actually true though. When talking about the paddle's power, if I could describe it in one word, it would be balanced. This is easily one of my favorite paddles to hit drives with. I can feel the paddle wanting to help me penetrate my shot through the court without having to overdo it. It has just enough power to where I'm not wanting more, and I'm able to use it in an effective and consistent way. Because of its balanced power, I didn't feel like I needed to swing as hard as I normally do on my drives, which is a great thing. I found myself hitting more drives at 60 to 70% effort because I could feel the paddle doing a lot of work for me. I would not consider the Hurache a power paddle, but an all-court paddle skewed towards the power end of the spectrum. If I were to go and play in a singles tournament today, this would definitely be one of the few paddles that I would use. Now, you can't talk about power with also talking about pop. The pop you get in fast hands battles with this paddle is exhilarating. A huge reason why the pop on this paddle is standout is because of the layers of fiberglass that is sandwiched between the carbon fiber layers. This isn't the first paddle to have a carbon fiber / fiberglass face, but it's definitely been my favorite so far. I always feel like I had a slight edge because the ball comes off this paddle's face so hot. If I were to compare the pop of this paddle to the double black diamond, I would say that the Hurache has 50% more pop. This helps a ton when hitting 4-shot rolls and volleys at the net when trying to keep your opponents back off of the kitchen line. I loved hitting my backhand flick with this paddle. I could feel the extra juice from the paddle when hitting it, and my opponents definitely did too. Just an awesome paddle when hitting shots out of the air in general. The great pop also made hitting speed-ups much easier for me. I was able to disguise my speed-ups better because I knew I didn't have to swing as hard to get the jump in hands battles. And when it comes to speed-ups, deception is everything. And then placement, of course. This gave me tons of confidence when playing up the kitchen line and deciding when I wanted to initiate those fast hand exchanges. Even though this paddle does have ample power and pop, the feel off the face is exquisite. You can still feel the ball sink into the paddle face, giving you some nice dwell time. It doesn't feel muted at all though. It has a nice, responsive, crisp, almost like a sharp feeling off of the face. I know the second the ball leaves the paddle face if it's going to go where I want it to. This feeling made me feel super connected to the ball and helped me stay focused while playing, which I had never really experienced before when playing with a paddle. A big contributing factor to this is how big the sweet spot is. I'd say it's just slightly smaller than the double black diamond, and that paddle has one of the biggest sweet spots that there is. Even when I'd hit a ball off center towards the edge of the paddle, I didn't have a super uncomfortable jarring feeling going up into my arm thanks to the good twist weight as well. I mean, I could tell I mishit the ball, but the clanky feeling never followed afterwards. The feeling off the face and the sweet spot size made controlling this paddle very easy once you get it dialed in. It actually took me a little bit longer than normal to dial in those control shots like third shot drops, dinks, and resets compared to other paddles. But once I did, it was an absolute breeze. I was able to dink just as well with this paddle than with any other top paddle that I've played with. The great feel and extra pop this paddle offered me made dinking super enjoyable. I was able to swing with less effort than normal and felt like I could place the ball on my target with precision. Same thing with my third shot drops and resets. Once it got it dialed in, I didn't have to concentrate super hard on my form and just focus on the game, which helped me execute my shots more consistently. I almost forgot to talk about this paddle spin. This is the area of the paddle that is the most average. With the RPMs coming in at 1850, I was left with wanting just a little bit more. 1850 RPMs isn't bad by any means, but it just is average by today's standards. If there was one thing I could say that they could work on with this paddle, it would be the spin numbers. But that's pretty nitpicky, and I'm sure the next paddle that comes out, it'll be better. The Hurache X Control Plus was the paddle I have been waiting for. An elongated, hybrid-shaped thermoform paddle with a 6-inch handle that's great for two-handed backhands with just the right amount of pop and power, but still had a fantastic feel and control off the face. It's almost like 11-6-24 built this paddle for me specifically. This is now in my top 3 favorite paddles alongside with the 6-0 Ruby and the Engage Pursuit Pro. I will definitely be using this in many tournaments to come. I am in love with this paddle. This is for the player that wants something that is extremely well-rounded in every area with a slight lean towards something that's a little bit more aggressive. I can't recommend this paddle enough. And for $140, I believe it is the best bang for your buck on the market right now. And if you use discount code BrionesPB at checkout, it'll be even cheaper for you guys. So if you choose to pick it up, use that code, save yourself some money, and help support our efforts in bringing you some more paddle reviews. I freaking love you guys, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next review. Peace.
Oh, sorry,